Gosh darn it, man, this team just never learns. They are never gonna go through a rebuild. They're gonna keep on going through this cycle of mediocrity because they re-signed this guy and they're never going to get younger, etc., etc., etc. I hear the arguments. I see them pop up everywhere. And in fact, I'm seeing this more and more now than I have ever before, especially with today's news that the Vancouver Canucks have re-signed Andrei Kuzmenko to a 2-year deal worth $11 million, so 5.5 AAV, and there is a 12-team no-trade list included in that. But we had talked about this a whole bunch yesterday. We made an entire video before the Canucks and the Kraken game breaking down the idea of a Kuzmenko extension, what exactly this could look like, why this would be done, and what the Canucks would be thinking instead of trading Kuzmenko away should they sign him to a contract, which they ended up doing. Now, the thing is here, as we had talked about yesterday, this cannot be the only move done per se. The Vancouver Canucks have themselves a team where guys like Conor Garland and Brock Besser, Bo Horvat, these are all players that the team needs to go out there and move. Mostly because with the money tied up with all these guys and the money that Bo would be demanding, you don't have the luxury of being able to keep all of these guys. Somebody has got to go. At the same time, Andrei Kuzmenko would have been a very valuable trade chip had you decide to trade the guy away. You would have been able to get draft picks, you would have been able to free up cap space, but at the same time, the Canucks have pretty much committed that cap space to Kuzmenko, thus forcing them to open up cap space in other ways. Bo Horvat, he's probably going to be gone. He's going to leave. You have Brock Besser and Conor Garland, two guys that I feel are just not as good as Kuzmenko. You're going to need to trade either of these two, preferably both, in order to free up that money. I said this yesterday in the video, but if you just kind of cut and paste the Besser contract and you give it to Kuzmenko instead, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with that because Kuzmenko is just straight up a better player. But this is not the Besser contract, it's a little bit cheaper than that, by about 1.1 million-ish. So Andrei Kuzmenko, the best winger that Elias Pettersson has ever had, is sticking around for 2 more years on a bridge deal. What this does is it kind of commits the Canucks to freeing up cap space in other ways. If the Canucks end up not trading away Besser and Garland and Horvat and all that stuff, then okay, I feel like that's when it's going to be time to panic, but for now, I personally think that this is not that bad of a deal. Sure, if Kuzmenko ends up becoming the next Panarin, quote-unquote, which he very well has a chance to doing so now, more so than ever before, then this is going to be pretty difficult for the Canucks to navigate in 2 years. But for now, this is a move that allows Andrei Kuzmenko to stick around in a city that he said that he pretty much likes being in. It allows Elias Pettersson to keep the best line mate that he's had around. This increases the chances that a guy like Elias Pettersson is more comfortable with sticking around long-term, because if the Canucks at least show that they're committed to the guy that Elias Pettersson has played the best with in his entire career, then I do think this is a pretty good move. However, I will say, it is somewhat concerning that the Canucks still haven't freed up that cap space. I feel like that would have been a lot more appropriate to do beforehand, but of course, we know it's really difficult to go out there and make trades. The only guy that would have been easy to trade away was a guy like Andrei Kuzmenko, but as we had said, I personally do feel like he is young enough that if you wanted to build around him and Petey while also opening up money via other methods, I would have been comfortable with that. It's just, I could totally understand that Kuzmenko was the most valuable trade chip the team had. They had an opportunity to get some draft picks and stuff, but they ended up not doing that. But at the end of the day, the Canucks are giving a pretty good player a pretty all-right contract for the talent that he has. This has probably been one of the more polarizing contract extensions, especially considering the state of the team. Like, even when JT Miller re-signed his deal, I feel like there wasn't too much controversy behind that one because everybody was like, oh, okay, Miller, like, great. Like, the Canucks probably should have traded him, but if they want to remain competitive, they have a chance here, and then they ended up crapping the bed at the start of the year, which is now like, okay, Miller re-signing, that was bad. They should have traded him. How could they have not foreseen this coming? And, like, I mean, now with Kuzmenko, there's so much negative press. Okay, they should have traded him. Another mistake. Rutherford, Alvin, what are you guys doing? But I don't know. I don't feel the same way about this one. You can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I know there was a lot of debate in yesterday's video, but thoughts in the comment section about Andrei Kuzmenko re-signing a 2-year bridge deal with the Vancouver Canucks, 5.5 AAV, all the stuff that we had talked about. Elias Pettersson probably likes this move. The Vancouver Canucks fan base is divided. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.